Every kingdom needs a king. Every army needs a general. Every business needs a leader. That's how the universe was built, not on equality, but on hierarchy. From the moment you were born, you enter the world divided by levels: physical, mental, financial, spiritual. There are people who lead and people who follow, people who create and people who consume, people who build and people who beg. The brutal truth is this: equality doesn't exist outside of theory, only results do. A lion doesn't ask a sheep for approval before hunting. A pilot doesn't consult the passengers before taking off. Power requires control, and control requires competence. That's why in every domain, from business to war, there are ranks. The capable rise, the weak remain under command. And the reason most people never move up, they don't respect the hierarchy. They think life is unfair because they don't understand that fairness and equality is not the same thing. Fairness means opportunity exists. Equality means everyone deserves the same outcome. And that's false. If two men start on the same road and one spends 10 years working, learning, building, while the other spends 10 years scrolling, drinking, and complaining, they do not deserve the same result. One builds value, the other wasted oxygen. Hierarchy is the nature's filter. It separates the disciplined from the distracted, the producers from the parasites. When you accept that, you stop trying to change lazy people and start competing with legends. Helping people beneath your level sounds noble, right? Until it becomes suicide. The man who tries to save everyone drowns first. Why? Because the people who refuse to swim will grab you and pull you down. They don't mean to destroy you, but ignorance, ego, and weakness always destroy the strong when you get too close. Low-level minds cannot understand high-level conversations. You talk about strategy, they talk about stress. You talk about growth, they talk about gossip. You mention discipline, they call it obsession. They cannot see the world the way you do because their lenses is clouded by insecurity and comfort. You waste years explaining success to people who've never even tried and to taste. You pour your soul into showing them how to change, and they'll complain the water's too cold for their feet. They don't want to rise, they want to stay safe in mediocrity and call it peace. You cannot heal a man who's addicted to failure. You cannot inspire someone who hates accountability. Some people aren't struggling because life is hard. They're struggling because they refuse to grow. Their mystery is self-made, and they protect it like a religion of their own. The danger of surrounding yourself with such people is that mediocrity spreads faster than disease. Sit with 5 people who quit and you will start thinking quitting is normal. You spend time with 5 victims and soon you will find reason to feel sorry for yourself too. The higher you climb, the lonelier it becomes. Not because greatness isolates, but because most people never bother to ascend or take a chance to begin with. You can't play chess if every piece moves the same way. You can't run an empire where everyone thinks they are the king. There must be orders, there must be ranks, and there must be separation between those who think and those who follows. The weak call it unfair, right? But the wise call it structure and with systems. The reason level exists is simple. Because pressure reveals character. Everyone wants to be rich, but not everyone can handle the sleepless nights, the betrayal from their partners, the risk that they took, the uncertainty from every decision, but they still had to pull it through. Everybody wants power, but not everyone is built for responsibility. The janitor cannot manage the company because he has never endured the weight of leadership of their own. The CEO earns more not just because of skills, but because of the pain they have went through. That's the part people never understand. The top people isn't just about money. It's about carrying a cross heavier than most people can imagine. When you work with high-level mindset individuals, you start to feel that weight. You begin to see how much sacrifice greatness demands. That's what makes you grow. But when you stay around low-tier people, they teach you complaints not to carry. They teach you to quit, not to conquer. They teach you that comfort is the goal, not contribution. And that's why the life never changes. There's level to this game. Look at the world around you. The weak argues about what is fair, but the strong people argues what's effective. The weak demands recognition. The strong demands results. The weak seeks comfort. The strong seeks conquest. That's the law of the hierarchy, and it applies to every part of life. You cannot be a lion in a pack of sheep expected to roar. Ego is the invisible prison that keeps millions chained. It whispers, you already know enough. It convinces men to stop learning the moment they start winning. Ego is why the janitor mocks the entrepreneur, why the broke man calls the rich man lucky, why the lazy people cause the disciplined people obsessed and hating on them because they can never be like them. It's a defense mechanism for the weak. They build walls of pride to protect the fragile truth that they have achieved nothing. You can't teach a man who thinks he's already wise. You cannot rise someone who refuses to kneel first. Humility is a doorway of growth, but ego blocks it with excuses. The difference between a champion and a failure isn't talent, it's teachability. The champion asks, what else can I learn? But the failure says, oh yeah, I heard that before. Every level you reach will demand you to destroy an older version of yourself. Ego won't let you. Ego clings to identity. It wants to stay the big fish in a small pond, but the pond is shrinking while the ocean of opportunity waits. The day you kill your ego is the day God hands you the next key. Effort is the universal language of success. It's the only currency gods accept. You can't pray your way to success while being lazy. You can't manifest discipline, you have to live it. Every rep in the gym, every late night study session, every sacrifice when nobody's watching, those are your silent investment in greatness. People ask, why do I keep losing? Because they quit too early. They expected a harvest after planting one seed. Consistency is boring, and that's why it's rare. The world is full of men who start, few ever finish. God doesn't bless the starter, He blesses the finisher. Effort sharpens you, it builds confidence, proof, momentum. When you stop working, you start rotting. Hard work isn't punishment, it's perfect patience. It burns away weakness, excuses, and fear. Look at the greatest men in history. They were not born most gifted. They were the most relentless. They woke up when others slept in. They built while others complained. They believed when others doubted them. And because of that, their name outlived their bodies in generations and generations to be proud of. Even their grandchildren remembers, my grandfather was a hero, not a fake character. Every day, you either add to your legacy or subtract from it. Effort is the aim. Write something worth remembering. You become what surrounds you. If you live with 4 procrastinators, you become the 5th. If you dine and have dinner with 4 kings, you'll learn how to sit like one. Environment is stronger than intention. You can have motivation for a week, but environment programs you for life. That's why winners build tribes, not cowards. They protect proximity like treasure, because when you're surrounded by excellence, mediocrity feels disgusting. When you're around builders, you start building. When you're around complainers, you start complaining. Energy is very contagious, so choose carefully what infects you. Never apologize for leaving people who refuses to rise. Evaluation requires separation. When God lifts you, He also removes those who cannot handle altitude. The higher you climb, the thinner the air. Weak people suffocate there. They crave comfort, not challenge. They crave validation and not victory. You must build an ecosystem where discipline is normal, ambition is respected, and results are demanded. That's how empires are born, not from individual talent, but from collective standard. If you're the smartest person inside the room, you're in the wrong room. Surround yourself with those who make you feel behind, because being uncomfortable is the proof that you are growing. So watch over your surrounding. If you surround yourself with winners, you'll win. But if you surround yourself with losers, you lost. One of the biggest lies ever told to humanity is that life is supposed to be fair. It's not. It never was, and it never will be. Fairness is a bedtime story told to children that they sleep easier. In the real modern world, results are what matter. The scoreboard doesn't care about effort. It records only victory. People say, oh, that is not fair. Of course it's not. Fairness is the language of the weak who wants comfort, not conquest. The strong understand that life is built on hierarchy and sacrifices. The man who risks everything should never be equal to the man who risks nothing. The builder who created jobs, opportunities, and innovation should never be compared to the one who complains about working for them. The world rewards value. It does not reward whining and complaining. It rewards impact, not intention. It rewards proof, not potential. If you accepted this truth, your mind becomes free. You stop expecting sympathy and you start craving results. Because fairness doesn't build legacy, effort does. There's no cosmic mistake in who wins and who doesn't. God is fair, but not by your definition. His fairness is divine order. You reap what you sow. If you put in nothing, you'll get nothing. If you give your soul, the world will eventually kneel to your work. So stop looking for fairness. Look for fitness. Are you fit for the life that you desire? Are your habits, your resumes, your discipline fits for the throne you dream of sitting on? If not, get back to work. You can teach a hungry man to fish, but you cannot teach an ignorant man to listen. The unteachable are everywhere. People who live in failure but reject wisdom. They defend their limitation with pride, say things like, that won't work for me, or you don't understand my situation. What they don't realize is that their situation is the result of their stubbornness. You can hand them the exact blueprint of freedom, and they still argue, why won't it work? They're addicted to victimhood. They need someone to blame because accountability feels like pain. Trying to help an unteachable man is like trying to fill a leaking bucket. It drains you and leaves you empty. You can't inspire those who find comfort in excuses. And the tragedy? Many of them were born with potential greater than yours, but the potential without humility is a wasted fuel. To growth, you must become a student again, every day, again and again. And when the coach tells you to punch like this, you punch like that. No complaining. Just do it better, faster, in the exact way. Ask questions. Accept correction. Study the result of those above you instead of resenting them. The moment you stop learning is the moment you start dying. That's why wisdom is wealth. It multiplies everything it touches, but pride keeps poor men poor. and the ignorant man loud. So learn quietly, work silently, and let your results do the talking. There are two types of people in this world: builders and beggars. The builder wakes up early. He chases purpose, not pleasure. He sacrifices today to secure tomorrow. He invests energy into creation, into system, into legacy. He understands that time is the currency and refuses to waste it on meaningless distractions. The beggar wakes up tired. He craves comfort. He scrolls, consumes, and complains. He points at others and shows luck. Instead of looking in the mirror, he treats blessing like entitlement and opportunity like inconvenience. The builder grows. The beggar decays. The builder acts. The beggar reacts. The builder faces failures and keeps swinging. The beggar faces failure and quit, then justified it by blaming circumstances. Both have 24 hours, one invested, one wasted. Both have talents, one develops, one discards. And here's the spiritual law. God blesses the builder because the builder mimics them. Creation, honor the creators. The act of building is divine. When you create businesses, art, family, systems, you participate in God's design. When you destroy, gossip, and waste, you deserve the opposite force. Every moment you choose which one to serve. Builders earns respect even in silence. Beggars demands attention through noises. One lives in purpose, the other one in panics. Don't argue with people who are beggars. Outwork them. Don't explain your vision, execute it. Let time be your witness, because in the end, success isn't just about wealth. It's about becoming undeniable. Every soul is given a mountain to climb. Most people never start. They stand at the base waiting for the path to get easier, waiting for motivation, waiting for the help that would never come. But those who start even trembling are chosen. They understand that greatness doesn't come from waiting. It comes from walking. As you climb, you lose people, I guarantee you. But that's not punishment, it is a promotion after all. The air gets thinner the higher you go. Weak lungs can't handle evaluation. They'll tell you you changed. You have. You're supposed to. You were born to evolve, not to entertain stagnation. You will be hated for growing. You will be envied for winning. And yet, you must climb anyways, because your life purpose was never to be liked. It was there to lead and to defeat. At the top, the silence is deafening. And in that silence, you'll find peace. Not because life gets easier, but because you finally see the world clearly, divided between those who talk about changes and those who become it. Your duty is simple. Work with the worthy, walk with the wise people. Detach from those who drains your drive. Build with believers, not with failed beggars. And when you finally reach the summit, look back, not in regret but in gratitude. You see the ones who doubted, the ones who mocked you, the ones who quit, and you smile at those losers, not out of ignorance, but out of understanding, because in that moment, you realize the truth of life is designed like this. God rewards the relentless. He exalts the discipline. He remembers the people that actually put in hard work. So build your empire, refine your spirit, protect your circle, and above all of them, keep climbing and climbing and climbing, because the view in front of you is only reserved for those who never stop.